The global auto industry just got a massive jolt. Not from Detroit, not from Tokyo, but from Ouagadougou. Yes, you heard that right. Ibrahim Traoré, the young and bold president of Burkina Faso, has just stunned the U.S. auto giants with a move no one saw coming. In a time when American automakers are bogged down by bloated costs, union tensions, and global supply chain headaches, Traoré is flipping the narrative with a groundbreaking announcement. Burkina Faso is launching a low-budget, high-performance, electric vehicle assembly operation, and it's already turning heads from Silicon Valley to Wall Street. While Ford and GM are battling over tariffs and chasing tax credits, Traoré has greenlit a lean, locally driven EV initiative designed to meet African needs first, but with serious implications for the world. The plan? Electric cars that cost a fraction of Western models, built using local materials where possible, powered by African innovation, and tuned for performance in harsh environments. We're talking about vehicles that run longer, charge faster, and endure tougher terrains, something even Rivian and Tesla are still trying to master at scale. And here's the kicker. This isn't some far-off promise. The first units are already in production under a public-private partnership with engineers from across the Sahel region and strategic backing from Pan-African investors, not the IMF. Traoré's vision is simple, yet revolutionary. We don't just want to drive. We want to own the road to the future. His team is doing exactly that. Developing affordable EVs for farmers, traders, and everyday families that American companies have long overlooked in emerging markets. The pricing? Early models are reportedly rolling out at under $9,000, with modular battery options and open-source vehicle diagnostics. A stark contrast to the $40K plus average price tag on U.S. EVs that often lock users into proprietary tech. This aggressive affordability model is shaking assumptions across Detroit's boardrooms and the D.C. policy circles. And don't mistake this for a vanity project. Traoré's administration is serious about reshaping how mobility works, not just in Burkina Faso, but across West Africa. They're integrating solar microgrids for charging, incentivizing local EV part suppliers, and training young engineers to lead the next generation of African automotive design. Meanwhile, U.S. automakers are caught flat-footed, unable to pivot quickly, tied up in political red tape, and now watching a new global player emerge from a place they never considered competition. Traoré's move is more than just a bold policy. It's a strategic disruption of the global EV supply chain, built on sovereignty, sustainability, and sheer pragmatism. And here's where it gets even more disruptive: the technology stack. Behind these EVs is open source. That's right. Traoré isn't just building cars. He's building an ecosystem, one that invites collaboration, rapid iteration, and local manufacturing. By rejecting the closed, profit-maximizing systems that dominate Western automaking, Burkina Faso is empowering its engineers and coders to adapt and improve vehicle software in real time. This flexibility means that any village mechanic or local technician can update the vehicle's diagnostics, optimize battery efficiency, or troubleshoot issues without needing a proprietary tool from California or Michigan. It's a direct challenge to the monopolistic software grip of legacy automakers like GM, and even Tesla, who've come under fire for restricting repairs and locking users out of their own vehicles. Meanwhile, the vehicle designs themselves are modular and rugged, with parts that can be 3D printed or sourced from regional materials. Some components are even being developed through local university collaborations, turning academic institutions into live innovation labs. This model not only slashes costs, it creates jobs, fosters technical education, and builds community resilience. It's a holistic vision where transportation becomes a national asset, not just a consumer product. The U.S. auto industry, still struggling with retooling for EVs and battling offshoring blowback, looks painfully bloated in comparison. While they're laying off workers or outsourcing to Mexico and China, Traoré is turning his country into a self-sufficient automotive micro-hub. Global analysts are beginning to take notice. Some are calling this Burkina Faso EV initiative the most important mobility story of the decade. Already, there are reports that Kenya, Ghana, and even parts of Southeast Asia are watching closely, ready to replicate the model. And U.S. lawmakers? They're scrambling to understand how a small West African nation managed to leapfrog decades of automotive bureaucracy in less than 2 years. There's quiet panic brewing in boardrooms from Detroit to D.C. Because what Ibrahim Traoré is proving is this: you don't need trillion-dollar subsidies or legacy infrastructure to build the future of transportation. You need vision, courage, and control over your resources. It's not just about cars anymore. It's about what they represent: independence, resilience, and strategic leverage. And make no mistake, this isn't just an African story. This is a global wake-up call. Because as Western automakers keep pouring billions into luxury EVs, robotic factories, and flashy marketing campaigns, Traoré is showing the world what happens when you build for real people, real problems, and real environments. That's a blueprint that not only threatens to rewrite Africa's industrial future, but could reshape the very soul of the global auto industry. And while U.S. automakers are fixated on quarterly profits and shareholder returns, Traoré is investing in generational transformation. His government has already launched training hubs aimed at preparing tens of thousands of young Burkinabe for jobs in electric vehicle design, battery assembly, and AI-integrated vehicle maintenance. These aren't just one-off programs. They're part of a nationwide mobility revolution, where the EV is not a luxury, but a tool for sovereignty and upward mobility. Imagine a farmer in rural Burkina Faso powering his EV off-grid with solar panels, transporting crops to market with zero fuel cost, while feeding vehicle data into a decentralized repair and optimization network built by local coders. This is already happening. And the battery game? That's another area where Burkina Faso is shaking the U.S. industry. With the global race to secure lithium and rare earth minerals heating up, Traoré is taking a radically different path, investing in salt-based battery technology and repurposed nickel and manganese sources, materials more abundant in Africa and less geopolitically volatile than lithium. This approach bypasses the global chokeholds currently dominating EV battery production. It's a supply chain strategy the U.S. should have seen coming, but didn't. As Ford and GM battle China for access to raw materials, Burkina Faso is quietly building a circular battery economy that uses locally sourced, recyclable components to power its own vehicles. And let's talk range, because this is where most budget EVs fall flat. Not here. Early field tests of the Burkinabe models have revealed astonishing performance for the price point, with ranges topping 350 to 400 kilometers per charge, even on bumpy, unpaved rural roads. Engineers have optimized the vehicles for durability and energy conservation using simplified powertrain systems and lightweight body structures. There's even an AI-based energy management assistant built into the car's software that adjusts power output based on terrain and cargo weight. In short, these aren't just cheap electric cars. They're smart, resilient machines tailored to the continent. All of this, assembled not in a billion-dollar megafactory, but in efficient modular production centers spread across urban and rural zones. These facilities are designed to scale organically, not through giant loans or foreign dependency, but through reinvestment, worker cooperatives, and strategic local ownership. Contrast that with the U.S., where EV rollouts are frequently delayed, over budget, and tangled in political gridlock. The message Traoré is sending couldn't be clearer. Mobility doesn't have to be a corporate monopoly. It can be a national liberation strategy. And now, American auto execs are quietly taking flights to West Africa, trying to figure out just how this was pulled off. The same industry that scoffed at the idea of African car manufacturing is now watching nervously as orders start coming in, not just from across the continent, but from European and South American buyers looking for an alternative to high-priced EVs dominated by Western and Chinese firms. This isn't just competition. It's a new center of gravity forming right under their noses. And here's where things get even more uncomfortable for the U.S. auto giants. Traoré's EV blueprint is being tied directly to anti-colonial economics. He's not just launching a car. He's launching a statement that Africa will no longer be the end user in the global supply chain. It will be the creator. Burkina Faso's new vehicles aren't just about transport, they're about reclaiming industrial autonomy in a world that has long dictated African economies. From the outside in, This philosophy is baked into every aspect of the operation, from locally trained engineers, to regionally sourced components, to cooperative profit-sharing models that return value to the workers and communities involved.